Hello everybody, I'm Kurt Thomas.
David Simmons.
And we're broadcasting live, a little bit different tonight. We're doing it the old-fashioned way, right in front of the old computer screen. We just thought we'd kind of do it old-fashioned for a change. And Charles couldn't be with us tonight. He's working on a project. We're going to give you some information a little bit later about that and clue you in on what he's up to, but it kept him away from us, so he couldn't be here tonight. He apologizes, but he wanted to be here, but he couldn't. But he's got a good thing he'll be doing. We'll tell you about that toward the end of the program and let you know a little bit about it. But just welcome back. It's our March webcast, and we're glad to be here with you. We've got a lot of neat things to talk about tonight. David's got a neat painting project he's been doing. He wants to share with you and talk about. In fact, why don't you clue him in on it? I'll let you give him the title and everything. Go ahead.
That's a 12 by 12 project. It's started out doing a couple of 12-inch by 12-inch paintings, and just sort of the mathematical 12 by 12. You get 144. So it's a gross of paintings, which is 140.
All right, and 12 by 12, like you said, that's the actual dimension.
That's the dimensions of all of them. They're done all on 12 by 12-inch wood panels, cradled on the back, so they don't have to be framed if you don't want to frame them.
And oil paints.
And they're oil paints, and we're in the process of planning a possible three-man show this fall or early winter next year. Depends on when we get it all put together. But we'll be doing this in a location to be determined in the future.
Right.
We're scouting out locations right now. It needs to be a fairly large place with good lighting, so if anybody has any suggestions or offerings of floor space,
that'd be good.
We'd take it.
We're always open to that, and we're easy to reach. You can contact us at our Facebook page or artstreamlive.com. We've got email, phone numbers. We're easy to get a hold of, and we always like input. We appreciate everybody's input. And like David said, 144 paintings in a year. I don't know if I could undertake it, but he's going to try it. How many a week is that?
Right now I've got 20 under my belt completed and about 6 in the works. So
okay, we'll see how that goes.
We're a little behind on the schedule.
Right. But I think David's going to, we've got in a little bit, we've got a quote coming up, and then I think we'll go into a little bit of a video to show what David's working on. I think you'll enjoy it.
Next, I'll show you a few slides here of some of the paintings, and some that weren't in the video. This is the first one in the series, sort of kicked everything off. This one was painted before it was a series. So.
Kind of the beginning point,
right?
The idea behind it. That's a scene we saw a lot traveling art shows in the past.
This one is actually based on Highway 17, Alabama Highway 17. We've driven that a lot.
Yeah.
But it's a nice two-lane road, very scenic, and has a lot of. It's in a particular place, but it's basically done from memory.
Yeah, and as David goes through this, he'll get you some details toward the end. But I just want to let folks know, David, that the thing about these, the fact that they're cradled on wood panels like you've done with the type paint, these are very, very durable. I mean, they will be around for generations. So.
Yep.
This is quite a piece of work here. Beautiful, well done.
And having them done on the cradled panels, the edges of the panels are actually painted a dark gray.
Right.
So they can be hung just as they are, or they could be framed with any kind of frame that.
It's a clean, contemporary look. It's almost like a box canvas without that feel, but it's much better.
This is a familiar Baldwin County scene to everybody. Everybody's seen the hay bales, which I've always liked the pattern that they end up, this random pattern that they end up having in the fields. This is actually directly across from the front porch of my house. It's the Auburn Substation Farm.
Now you were actually doing some of your image research and your idea concepts. Or did you tell me you've been able to do some computer type color
actually what
simulation?
I'm doing with these is when they're done from photographs, they're not all done from photographs, but I run them through a couple of programs and simplify the shapes a little bit, reduce the number of colors sometimes, and change the colors. Sometimes I will eliminate backgrounds, move things digitally.
Oh, okay.
And then run it through like a paint program. It's called what is the name of it? Photo Edge, Photo something or other.
Oh, okay. But it gives you that ability.
But what it does, it allows you to simplify and alter colors.
Conceptual tool. That's great.
So then I have a actual source to paint from that's very similar to what how I want the shapes and the colors to be in the paint.
So
they never turn out exactly the same, but it's a good starting point.
Digital culture influencing art. Gee, that might be something we
hear
a little.
How does that tie in?
I don't know. We'll have to find out later. Yeah.
This one's not really local either. Sometimes I appropriate portions of the paintings. This one actually, I eliminated the whole background and foreground and only kept the shapes of the building.
Yeah,
and altered that. And this, I appropriate. That seems to be a popular thing to do now, is appropriate. But,
yeah, I kind of thought that might be from your Back Road series you'd done, your photographs.
Yep. Well, it reminded me of that. That's why I liked it. This is another one that's appropriated, but it reminded me of an old house that's pretty close to here.
And I love the light quality on that. That's almost a tonalistic feel.
Yeah, I like early morning strong light and that afternoon strong light we usually get in the fall and the spring around here.
It has a definite feeling of innocence, the American tonalism. I like it.
This one too, I liked it just because of the strong shapes in it and reducing the shadow down to where you really don't get a lot of detail. But there's enough information there to say, it's a house, two-story house with windows and a porch. So, and I like the telephone poles, just add another element to it.
I'm gonna have Boudreaux. Boudreaux, bring one of those over for us in a minute, and I think people will get an idea of the scale.
This is another Baldwin County scene that doesn't necessarily exist, but this is sort of a composite.
Yeah. That's got some color punch. You know, the thing about these, if when you're looking at them on a screen, I mean, to me, they have a feel. These things could be 6 by 6 feet for all you know. I mean,
well, they may be the next
scale.
series.
I mean, scale just is something,
6 by 6 would be a lot easier. Only 36 then.
Yeah, that's true.
So, okay. Before we go to the live camera again, this is something that I'm offering, if we have a good collector out there who is a strong patron of the arts, they can pre-purchase a dozen of these for only $150 each, which is less than half price.
Wow.
If someone's not quite that strong of a collector, they can get a half a dozen, and only $200 each, which is still a third off at least. The minimum price on these would be $300 each, and ranging probably up to about $380. If there's any particular one I'm extremely fond of myself, it could be higher.
Is there a time limit on this opportunity, or?
Not at the moment, but as with all offers, it could be withdrawn at any moment.
Okay, all right, fair enough.
First person to take advantage of it gets their choice of the 6 or the 12. If somebody else calls afterwards or contacts me by email, then we'll go in order as they're called, as to having first choice of the available images.
This is not a fighter family member of Artstream Live member has to. That's a good disclaimer.
We need a fast talker for that.
Yeah, need a fast talker for that. So, now go back to that live camera here. I want you to hold that up.
Yeah.
Give people an idea of the scale of these. Let them see what you got.
Here,
Yeah.
you can see the scale, and that's how thick they are. You can see the painted edge here.
All right, these are well made, very nicely done, man. This is quality material. And like I said, the longevity is something important in art, and that will be around a while. Okay. Well, one of the things we've got. Let me set this to the side here. All right. Okay. Now we've gone, and a little bit later, I want you to stay tuned. Don't leave us, because we're going to talk about another thing David has. It's kind of a fun idea. Something about a hammer and nails and art. Nailed art. I kind of like that idea. We'll talk a little bit about that. But tonight, we've got a topic we want to talk about. We've kind of mentioned a little bit the idea of the art world and the digital culture, how the one affects the other, and globalization of art, and what the digital world is doing to help that. And we're going to talk a little bit about that tonight.
Just in the past 5 years, it's just been exponential.
And
changes in the availability of what you can do digitally as far as producing art, marketing art, just communication between artists is international now within seconds.
What we're doing right now is a part of it. So
we have people subscribe to our Artstream Live Facebook page from about 8 different countries.
Yeah.
So I mean, you at this point in time, an artist anywhere can have an international reach.
Well, we'll talk a little bit about that in a minute. We've got a little introduction video we want to share with you, and we'll go to that.
Imagine, if you can, an electronic brain operating at millions of a second speed. To see how it works, please watch the screen.
Going to brighten the world of your home.
Oh, I'll go see over this.
You finished your coffee, John. I'll answer it. Probably the mailman.
If they knew what communication meant. Joe said he guessed it meant people talking to each other.
It is bringing entertainment to thousands of people. Through its magic, we are able to enjoy a combination of the radio, motion pictures, and the stage.
Any shock they should try to stand, instead of landing on Plymouth Rock would land on...
We interrupt this program to bring you a special news bulletin.
This is information. May I help you?
The fund of knowledge accumulated through the ages is available to everyone, rich and poor alike.
Information necessary.
In olden days, a glimpse of stocking was looked on as something shocking, but now, Lord knows, anything goes. Good authors, too, who once knew better words, now only use four-letter words, writing prose. Anything goes. If driving fast cars you like, if low bars you like, if old hymns you like, if bare limbs you like, if May West you like, be undressed says, nobody will oppose. When every night the set the smartest, indulging in nudist parties in studios, then anything goes. Bad today, black's white today, and day's night today. That gent today, you gave a cent today. Once had several chateaus. Folks who still can ride in jitneys find out Vanderbilts and Whitneys like baby clothes. Then anything goes.
I believe in this world to come. I think it's going to be a pretty good world.
Art and aesthetics, they are European concepts. They have a very specific genealogy. They go back to Diderot and Kant, and the whole idea of art is something that, in the discussion, is something that is deeply rooted in certain traditions. But of course now the world of art has changed a lot, and that has happened even in the last decades. There has always been art in other continents and other nations, I'm sure. It's just that it has been discussed in other terms. And now we live in this world where all these different cultures meet, where there's a lot of activity in India and Pakistan, where there's lots of contemporary art being produced in China and in Korea. And we live between cultures, and I think it's very interesting to see how new forms and new languages emerge where maybe worlds meet. The European art world was very dominant, and in the last decades, even up until the 1980s perhaps, one had the sense that if you wanted to be visible as a contemporary artist, you had to be in New York or maybe in Cologne, and this has changed. So now it's very hard to have to get in, you know, a grasp of it, because it's so big, the art world. Of course, that is also the richness of it. I mean, there's nothing wrong with traditional mediums and traditional disciplines such as painting or sculpture. We have a lot of that here in the exhibition. But on the other hand, art can be, when it comes to discipline and technique, almost anything. It has become a language that is very open and which evolves in new directions. And of course, this is just one version. And even if it's a very large show, it is a subjective take. And it's my subjective take. So I just want to invite everyone to look at the show. And this is the answer. I cannot formulate it in words. It's actually an exhibition.
All right, welcome back. Hope you enjoyed the video. What do we think? That's kind of what we're going to talk about now. But the thing about this, one thing's I've got a couple of quote cards I want David to bring up, kind of get our definitions down a little bit before we get going into our topic tonight. And let him bring that first one up. Globalization. Now, what does that mean? You know, and it's the elimination of barriers to trade, communication, and cultural exchange. And how do we eliminate barriers? Well, this next one's how we do it. Through the use of our digital culture, the cultural ramifications of digital technology, and how the alterations in the patterns of communication, information processing, and archiving result from the use of digital technology have influenced human behavior. Whoa, that's a mouthful. But one thing I think is neat, you know, when you look at it from the point of view of an artist, and we'll come back to that live camera. And, you know, the idea, one of the terms I really liked was the idea of dig cult. I just like that kind of a short slang term. But, you know, how artists use this, like we're doing it right now through live streaming and trying to share our art through this medium of the computer. And we use it to help make art. But the thing about it is when you stop to think about it, it's like David mentioned, through Facebook, web pages, email. The world I work in the museum world, David working in art with galleries, we aren't limited anymore. No. You don't necessarily have to live in New York City. There are advantages to it. I mean, you're in the hot spot of the cultural world, and you have ability to go see. But what's wild is that, I mean, I can get on the internet. I know David's got a fellow bookmark. Mm-hmm. He rides around on a bicycle with a webcam strapped to a helmet and walks in the gallery openings.
James Common, and he gets very close to the, you can actually, you know, get a feeling for the texture, how the paint's, if it's painting, the sculpture surface. I mean, it's really, it's the next best thing to be.
Yeah, it's almost like being there. He walks through the crowds, meets the people, meets the artists.
Talks to artists, he talks to people visiting that he knows. Everybody seems to know him, so you get the benefit of his knowledge too.
Mm-hmm. And the thing about all this technology, it's forcing the galleries, the museums, the artists to rethink the art world. I mean, it's international. I mean, it truly is. I can find out what artists are doing in South America, Asia. It's affected the auction houses. I mean, right now, Asia, China, there are a lot of art buyers down in South America that are really driving the market right now.
And you wouldn't think that people would be willing to buy artwork digitally on the internet, but I read one article that the average price of art being sold through the internet by galleries, directly by artists, by dealers, by patron to patron, secondary market, has gone up like 300 or 400%. Believe it or not, I mean, this includes auction houses too, but the average price now is over $20,000.
I believe it. It's expanded the market for artists. I mean, it's like anything. You've got a limited supply, but you've got a bigger demand, and that's one of the things that's happened with the digital culture. And excuse me, like I said, art events, they're instantly streamed anymore. I mean,
Google has an art event, art project. It's a virtual gallery tours and museum tours, and it's really pretty amazing.
Yeah, and you can literally walk through the galleries of museums, major art institutions in the world.
YouTube
yeah.
had a high definition presentation over a wide live webcam or webcast about a year ago, and it was of the opening of a museum at a museum, and it was I mean it was so clear. I mean it was like you could almost touch the paintings.
Yeah, and it's the thing about it, if you miss something, it's recorded.
Right.
So even if it's not live, you've got the ability to go back. I mean, look at the availability of just image research. You want to learn about a technique, how it was done, get on the web. You want to study art history, get on the web. You want to know how a different technique, it's all there. It's available.
Artists who do a lot of appropriation type artwork. I ran across one artist who actually appropriates photographs of buildings and dilapidated buildings. She sort of surfs the internet, finds these, and then she takes them, manipulates them, and prints them out on cardboard or heavy paper, and she makes three-dimensional sculptures out of appropriated photographs, and they're pretty amazing looking.
All right, well, don't I have a couple images coming up we could show? I think these guys are going to kind of help explain the concept that you brought up with that. Yeah, I think people recognize this. A fellow by the name of Andy Warhol, you know, the idea of the pop art culture, how, you know, we look at the idea of high art versus low art. You got Roy Lichtenstein, comics, you know. The idea of some people, well, that's not high art. Well, it is. It's, you know, the distinction between high and low is changing, and the digital culture is helping to bring that about. And the idea of what's high, what's low, I don't think it matters like it used to. I mean, it's anything, like you said, because of the digital culture, being able to link to other people around the world, having access to information, images, styles, that distinction is getting blurred, and even more and more. And it really is affecting the way people collect art, the way people see art. I mean, you know, we're approaching right now the idea of the digital museum,
right? Well,
the digital gallery.
Speaking of galleries, I mean, there is sort of a little bit of a backlash by some in the gallery world, some in across the board, I guess, in the art world, that they really almost resent that. I don't know if it's the loss of control or what it is, but they're sort of resisting what's I see as the inevitable, that they're going to have to embrace this new digital way of presenting art, purchasing art, marketing art.
It can be a bypass of a gallery or an agent. That's true.
It can be used that
Now
way.
there are advantages though to these institutions. So, but you're right. That does bring up that possibility.
But they can expand their market
and they
tremendously
can too
if they embrace it.
And like we said earlier, it does expand the audience, and it's a worldwide market now. And galleries, museums are changing the way we do exhibitions in the museum world. Digital is becoming more a part of it. We've had exhibitions where people can go directly online and write down their comments. It's a live feed to somebody that and you get more information. So
sort of like Facebook allows that too on a personal level with artists. And I mean, you can converse directly with the artist, make comments on work that they post, and once again, it's not just a local thing. This is an international.
Right, it's no longer American or European. It's
my own art Facebook page. There's a little over 500 people on it, and looking at the statistics that they have access to, at least 25% of them are not in the United States.
Right.
They're Europe and Asia.
And artists can collaborate through this. Museums, galleries, everybody can. So it's really it's an amazing thing how it's all doing now. To kind of tie it back to us, it's kind of like what we're doing here at Artstream Live. You know, we used to go out and do art outdoor shows. you're limited. You can only be in one place at one time. You know, there are only so many weekends in a year. And now we've got the availability to share our art directly. People can view our art. They can interact with us if they want to, through email, through live chat, through calling, you know, whatever they want to do, we've got it. And we can go out and interact with people more and more, doing live feeds. So that's something we're going to be talking about a little bit in a minute with nailing the art. It's kind of an interacting process. And making new collectors, getting people interested in art, and sharing techniques, which we've done here. We've shared our own personal history, how we make our art. So all of that's been opened up to us through that. So let's see what we got.
It's breaking down.
Right.
Another barrier is breaking down is basically sort of the different art worlds that have existed. The American art world.
Right.
And you have the European art world, the Asian art world. All of these now have just started to mix. So we're getting something that's sort of a hybrid between all of these.
Yeah.
So in a way, we're losing a bit of the regionality. In a way, I mean, you still do have, you know, like my artwork is pretty much regional. That's what it's based on, my experience. So it's going to be that. But as far as its reach now is far beyond regional or even national, and it's not any artist can have an international reach worldwide.
No, yeah, and David's got. In a minute, we're going to bring up a graphic to show you. David came across a neat site that how the internet, the digital culture, is affecting funding for art, called Kickstarter. So I'm going to let him tell you a little bit about this.
Yeah, I just happened upon this about soon after they had started this site. And what this site is, it's sort of what you might call a micro patron website where you can actually pick out projects, not necessarily art projects. They have many, many different categories, anything from computer programming to architecture, a lot of unusual things.
Filmmakers use it a lot.
Filmmakers use it a lot.
Yeah.
But artists have used this to raise money just to frame artwork for a one-man show,
or to take a
trip.
very
expensive.
Take a trip to study art in Europe or something. Yeah.
To do a series of paintings. Maybe I need to do one for the 12 by 12 series.
You never know.
But what you do is you present your project. You have small rewards, different levels, for different levels of donation, anywhere from $1 to $5,000. I mean, it depends on the project.
Right.
But I mean, you can support just about anything that you can think of. A lot of visual artists on it, though. A lot of filmmakers.
Right.
I was a very small patron to the 50 in 50 project, the Vogel's art collection, 50 pieces of artwork going to 50 states from their contemporary art collection. So that was something I always thought was interesting. This middle class couple who amassed over their lifetime one of the largest single collections of contemporary art on a average income.
And it doesn't really involve the classic idea of the investor corporation trying to get a return. You're literally investing in the cause because you believe in it.
Directly to
and there may not be a financial reward return, but like David said, some of the artists or filmmakers will give a bonus.
Right, yeah, a little premium.
Right, and so you're actually helping get an idea that you believe in created. So I thought that was a neat idea.
If it's a movie, you might get a DVD,
right?
You know, signed by the director or whoever, and you know, get that. Or some of them, you might even get an invitation to a red carpet opening. I mean, it just depends on the level of what they can afford to offer.
So that's all part of globalization and digital culture. And I know we talked a little bit about it tonight, but we just thought it was something neat and it's going on right now. Now, you know, tonight Charles couldn't be here, but that doesn't mean his artwork can't be. So in a minute, we're going to share some new pieces that Charles wants to show to you. I don't know if he's going to try to call in or not. We will see, but we're going to show you some of Charles' art in just a minute. So stay tuned for that. All right. Now we're going to show you some images of some pieces of ceramic by our friend Charles Smith. And these are just, you know, the classic tripod with lid. It's beige and black.
I'm going to see if I can get hold of Charles.
Oh,
We'll do a
okay.
little phone interview, and he can make some comments if he wants to.
All right, you want to click to that next one, or you? Let's see.
Hang on one second.
All right, so we get hold of Charles. I'll see if I can do the next one.
Hello, Charles. We're going to do a little phone interview. You have to speak up. I'm going to put you next to the microphone.
We're looking at some of your pottery right now. I've got a nice black.
Yeah.
Can you see it?
Yeah, I can see it.
All right.
Okay. I mean, you can talk about these just in general. I know we have a little lag between what we're doing and what you're hearing and seeing. Might be a little confusing, but if you just want to talk about these in general, we'll go through them slowly.
Oh yeah, because I'm getting a little feedback. But
right.
Yeah, that first one that's on there is the classic black and tan tripod with the fish motif.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this particular piece was probably probably about 5 years old.
Mm-hmm.
That's just a lot of these imageries is just more redevelopment, it's rediscovering.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I tried at one point trying to come up with new stuff, but you keep going back into a circle, so you got to take advantage of it.
Right.
And this is almost the same image, but this is more of a squatty type of a tripod with a bigger lid.
Yeah.
These are more ceremonial pots.
Yeah, this has a very...
That's my way of working.
Right, it has a very distinctive shape to this one.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Okay, let's see. Like I say, we got a little lag here, but we'll move into the next one.
Okay. And the one that's up now is more of the... This is a new pot going in with the wave type top, with that wave design. That was just something that I got into. I don't know if I'm going to continue that, but I did it years ago. But it's just these things that fade in, fade out, fade in. And as an artist, I'm pretty sure you and Kurtis can understand that.
Right.
That there's some things that eat at you, and then you got to go out and do it just to clean your system out.
Right.
And just sort of keep to the point that I still got it and I can do it. The images pop up, and being a studio artist, you can actually be right there to produce that image because you got that skill level.
Mm-hmm. Well, you know, when you bludgeoned me back into the art world, basically what I did was there were some things that I literally dropped in mid production, some images and some actual pieces of artwork. So same thing there. I mean, the logical thing for me to do is to just start where I left off and work through those things.
Right.
But once I got through those things, it was going into making a complete break and going into a different, you know, into painting instead of the drawings like I was doing before. Seemed like a logical thing to do. And even then...
Well, yeah, it's logical to do because being a studio artist, you have these things that pop up, and you would have to take advantage of it. This is not a textbook situation where people tell you about, oh, well, you're having fun. At some point, it's not fun, but it's the point of just clearing, you know, the mill part of it.
Right.
Because if you have to sleep on this, it's actually where they, you know, really get to you. So knowing that, to have a safe life, you have to just go out and clean your palette, per se.
And the nice thing about that cutout shape is it's a direct natural flow from your two-dimensional pattern into the three-dimensional form. That's what I love about it. It makes perfect sense what you did.
Well, that's just playing with nature, dealing with nature, because you're looking at a balance. A lot of things I can't do because I'm human, but to get an exact form or to get an exact explanation of it, just go to nature. There's no way around it.
Right.
And once you go to nature, that's a sure thing. And then you have that evolution that you can look at. I'm just a small speck within the big scheme of things, but when you gravitate to nature, and as an artist, you're looking at things that's much powerful than you are, because we have a tendency to try to play God in our work because we think we're in total control. But it's a power there that's much bigger than us, but we can learn from it.
Mm-hmm. Okay, we moved into some of your blue and white pots here now.
Well, yeah, that's still going back to what I was doing in the early 80s, because that's reinventing oneself. That's all that is. I got to the point that some of this stuff I needed to stay abreast of because I was losing it.
Right.
And I thought maybe I need to go back and kind of reinvent myself to kind of stay in tune to what I did, say, 30 years ago, because I can't really perform like I did 30 years ago because the eyes are going and the hand is not as steady as it used to be.
Right.
But I'm trying my best to kind of stay in rare form.
Right.
And Charles, these, what we're showing right now, if someone was interested, these are available for purchase? I mean, there's something...
Well, some of them, because I don't do that many of them. It's just the way it is now. It's first come, first served.
Right.
Because I got a number of collectors that people would just scoop them up sight unseen. Because you never know when I might might go to another venue. I mean, another avenue, or swing another pendulum. Because that's just the way I work. Well, I wake up one morning, do one thing, and then the next morning I might be in. I'm heading west on I-10.
Right.
You know.
Contact you on our artstreamlive.com, your webpage, Facebook. You're out there, so they can find you.
Right.
Then here's the last pot we have the picture of is the black and tan.
Yeah, it's a new pot, but then again it's got an old spin on it. Whereas I'm playing more with that heavy texture within that black slip.
You're right. Right. Yeah, we talked about that one day.
You get more texture there in that depth. So. And like I said previously, pop like that pop sold to a collector face site. You know, when she first saw that. So that's and I don't do that many. I don't do all. You know, sit there 12 pots, 20 pots. It's just that one pot in that time and space.
Well, I'm
so
going.
And I like to make a note that I got a and this is Saturday night we broadcasting this, and tomorrow, which is Sunday.
Right. March the 4th. I got it right here, Charles. I was getting ready to plug it for you. If you would like me to, I'd love to. Yeah, want everybody to know, if you liked what you just saw and you want to see Charles in action, we've got an opportunity for you. It's going to be tomorrow, Sunday, March the 3rd. It's going to be at the Mobile Museum of Art out at Langham Park at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. It will be in the education lobby, and I'm going to just read you a little write-up the Donna Clues, the curator of exhibitions, wrote for it. It says, ceramic artist Charles Smith, whose work is featured in the museum's current exhibition, African-American Artists from the Permanent Collection, will present a demonstration of his pottery throwing techniques and share with participants the inspirations for his art, as well as anecdotes of his life and work as an artist, cultural ambassador and educator in Mobile and along the Gulf Coast. This program will take place in the museum's education gallery and is free for members or visitors with regular museum admission. So that's tomorrow, Sunday, March the 4th at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, Mobile Museum of Art out at Langham Park. So I think that's a great opportunity. If you've never got to meet Charles in person or watch him make his art, don't miss this. You'll love it.
Right. Okay, Charles, I guess we'll, unless you want to wrap up something, we'll let you go here.
Well, that should do it, and you know, maybe, I know we'll do it next month, but I got, you know, several shows that's coming up, so that's just more of a time restraint.
Right.
So that's just the way we roll, as we say.
Yep.
So, I appreciate it.
Well, thanks for letting us call and talk with you a minute, Charles. Appreciate it.
Okay.
All right, take care.
Sorry you're going to miss the barbecue sandwiches, but we'll see you later.
I'll eat one for you.
Good night.
All right. Okay, well, in a minute, we've got something coming up talking about influence and reaching out. David has something he'll want to share with you in a minute. Kind of a neat idea. It's called Nailed Art.
Hey! Neil! Hey! What are you doing out there? Woo-hoo! Woo-hoo!
Okay.
Back up.
As you can see, this has been sort of a combination art hunt, a little taunt toward people who maybe used to collect artwork and don't. But there's a little bit of that in there. But I was just thinking one day, you get in certain moods, and I was just thinking, well, if nobody wants this piece I'm working on, maybe I'll just go nail it to a pole somewhere.
Sounds like a good idea.
So I did. And this started out on Facebook as sort of a little fun thing to do that I give hints every day for about 5 days on where the artwork is. And literally it's nailed to a telephone pole somewhere in Baldwin County. We've done 3 of these so far. 2 of them were found. The third one was actually rescued by a patron and purchased.
Well, thank you, kind person.
A Harvard professor.
All right, very good, very good.
So we're going to do at least one more of these in the future, but something else we're going to do is we're going to have the Great Art Heist.
Heist.
Yes.
I like the sound of that. I don't give them too much. Let them kind of mull that over.
Watch Facebook, and maybe we'll put a little link or something on the Artstream Live webpage eventually. But SimmonsFineArt.com. There'll be a little link on there eventually. I haven't put it up yet, but it'll be there soon. If you want to participate in the Great Art Heist.
Won't you help save the art?
Save the art.
Yeah, save the arts. Well, I tell you what, we've about killed an hour tonight. We guess we've been long-winded, but we had a lot to cover, and we've had a good time doing it. We hope you have enjoyed. We had a little break tonight on our server time, but we're back up and running. But hey, that's the internet. That's all part of the digital culture. So we've enjoyed being here tonight. We hope you've enjoyed the webcast, and we're going to try again next month, usually the first Saturday.
Probably won't be. I think we're falling into the Easter time next.
Oh, that's true.
So
we
it might be the second Saturday.
Might be some adjustments, but we'll post that on Facebook.
Stay tuned. Yep.
Let everybody know. But if you ever need to reach us, like we said, email, phone numbers are all on artstreamlive.com, artstreamlive@gmail.com.
Right.
We got a Facebook page. We're out there. We're available. Just got a question, anything, interested in a piece you saw, just let us know.
And if you have a Roku streaming box, you can actually watch us on Roku on your widescreen TV. You'll have to look up the private channel Ustream. You can find that. Just do a Google search on Ustream on Roku.
Right.
And it'll take you to a link where you can add that to your channels.
So when we're actually broadcasting, they can find it and watch it on there.
When we're broadcasting, all they have to do to the live, it'll have a section for live programs. Just put a search on there for Artstream Live, and it'll take you directly to it. Sometimes we'll come up too on the popular. They'll have other popular selections. If you search that, you could find some of our archived ones.
I bet I look good in HD widescreen. I hope so anyway. But hey.
Yeah.
Okay, well, great.
Widescreen myself.
Well, I think we're about done for tonight.
Okay.
Has that got it?
I think that's it.
Well, everybody, thank you. Good night.
Good night.